people of the world. Twitter says that it removed 32,242 accounts linked to state-backed manipulation campaigns. Twitter's working on a new list discovery option as it continues to focus on topics. Snapchat announces action bar, voice-activated lenses, news updates, and more at a partner summit. Text messaging is the most effective marketing channel most retail brands aren't using, according to search engine giant Google, to allow removal of counterfeit goods from search results. Web spam report cracking down on renegade link practices. And finally, 4 things we learned about automated bidding during the pandemic. This is Marketing as a Foreign Language, and I am Kellen Kausman. Oh my goodness. So much Twitter, so much removal of accounts linked to state-backed manipulation campaigns with the 2020 US election coming up and candidates in disagreement over how social platforms should handle political speech. This new disclosure from Twitter comes at an interesting time. We live in interesting times to be sure. Today, Twitter has outlined its latest account removals amounting to more than 32,000 accounts as explained by Twitter. Quote, today, we are disclosing 32,242 accounts, including 3 distinct operations that we have attributed to the People's Republic of China, Russia, and Turkey, respectively. Every account and piece of content associated with these operations has been permanently removed from the service. In addition, we have shared relevant data from this disclosure with 2 leading research partners, Australian Strategic Policy Institute and the Stanford Internet Observatory. The networks each had their own purpose in amplifying different content. The Chinese network of 23,750 accounts were, quote, tweeting predominantly in Chinese languages and spreading geopolitical narratives favorable to the Communist Party of China while continuing to push deceptive narratives about the political dynamics in Hong Kong, according to Twitter. Twitter says that it additionally identified a network of more than 150,000 amplifier accounts. This is the black hat stuff that we've been chatting about. It feels as though there are armies of robots at play in 2020. It doesn't seem there are. And these amplifier accounts most likely are indistinguishable from normal accounts. This is the age we live in. The Russian network had 1,152 accounts, and they were linked to state-backed media website Current Policy, and was found to be cross-posting and amplifying content, quote, in an inauthentic, coordinated manner for political ends. They don't say to what end here in the article. The main aim of this cluster was to promote the pro-Kremlin United Russia Party. Well, there you have it, and to attack political dissidents. The Turkish group had 7,340 accounts and was found to be amplifying support for the AK party and President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Technical signals point to the network being associated with the youth wing of the party. So there you have it. Earlier in the year, researchers from Queensland University of Technology in Australia identified what they believed to be a huge cluster of bot accounts which were amplifying disinformation about the cause of the bushfires that hit the East Coast. Yikes. The amplification of disinformation 2020. What's real? What's fake? Who knows? For its part, Twitter said in March that the identification of bot accounts by third parties is largely flawed and mostly incorrect, so reports like these can't necessarily be trusted. Twitter has also said that the amount of fake accounts on its platform is less than 5%. How can they possibly know that? That's just something a giant corporation says. Oh, don't worry. It's less than 5%. How would you know if you're being deceived? That would be like asking, how often are you being lied to? Oh, it's less than 5%. It's less than. Like, wouldn't you have to ask the liar? And wouldn't they just lie to you? But this latest disclosure suggests that bot swarms like this are indeed possible, obviously, and are being used for political manipulation, obviously. So again, we're going to be seeing AI swoop in and be the arbiter of all this madness. And of course, whoever holds that particular firearm is going to wield massive power. So let's be cognizant of that as we move forward. Twitter is working on a new list discovery option as it continues to focus on topics. When Twitter launched its swipeable alternative news feed based on Twitter lists last June, it also noted that it was working on a new way to help users find relevant Twitter lists with a public collection of lists displayed by topic. Now, Twitter appears to be close to launching that option with a new list discovery process spotted in testing. Okay. So we're talking about showing up in Google lists. Again, this is something for major brands. If you're a local business, maybe. If you're a talking head, sure, this makes a lot of sense. Here you got new lists: Bollywood, Battle Royales, India Cricket. As you can see in this example shared by WF Brother, the new option would provide a display of various lists that you can follow. Okay, so you're following lists. You could follow Taekwondo if you're into the Taekwondo. You could follow cookie recipes if you're into the cookie, whatever you like. Okay, boring. Snapchat announces Action Bar voice-activated lenses. Where are my Google glasses, by the way? I want to be able to see things in like a holographic. I want to be able to look at the plant and say, what is this plant? And I want the glasses to pop up the name of the plant. Do we have that yet? I want to be able to look at someone and if they want to provide information, have that information scrolling above them. Like if I'm walking around and there's like a giant Send It Rising logo on my head and other people can see it because it's an augmented reality, I'm okay with that. This works for me. Snapchat has announced a range of coming features in its 2020 Snap Partner Summit, including advances in AR, there you go, augmented reality, new place listings in Snap Map, original programming, an action bar. Basically, Snap has announced a heap of stuff. This is unsurprising. For many years, we've been talking about how Snapchat is going to take over. Facebook, again, was not something everyone used. And then all of a sudden, everyone used it. Snapchat has a good chance of doing that over the next 10 to 15 years, perhaps even 5 to 10 years. Here's an overview of all the key details. Just so you know, I talked to a teenager the other day, 17-year-old, and I said, oh, I'll Facebook whatever. And they said, I'm not on Facebook. And I said, Snapchat? They said, yep. And I said, yeah, it makes sense. First off, Snapchat's bringing a new range of AR features to its app in order to tap into the rising popularity of its digital experience tools. AR. Augmented reality. That's it. That's next. Streaming for 2020, augmented reality for 2021 and beyond. As explained by Snap, quote, over 170 million Snapchatters engaging with AR daily. So they're already doing it. Nearly 30 times every day with top performing community lenses reaching billions of views. I'm telling you. Indeed, Snap has previously reported that its AR tools were seeing increased usage amid the COVID-19 lockdowns. And that 170 million figure, that's a typo, is significantly higher than the 55.3 million daily active lens users it reported back in 2017. There are local lenses now, which enable you to engage with a persistent shared AR world built right on top of your neighborhood. So this is exactly what I was talking about with Google Glass. They're doing it. Snapchat's doing it. I want to be able to walk around like a shopping area and see coupons. I want the 10% off the coffee because I've got my like Snapchat glasses on. I don't want to be holding my phone. I don't want to be walking around with my phone like this. This is garbage. I'm not interested in this. I like my hands to help me take a walk. Do you understand me? But if we can get this onto my face, I'm already wearing glasses. This is something I'm interested in. Not interested in walking around doing this particular move. No, thank you. But clearly, the stat earlier was 170 million Snapchatters engaging with AR daily. Not in the way that I'm describing. They're putting cats on their head and then taking a picture. But there you have it. Essentially, you and anybody else will be able to virtually paint and edit certain buildings or landmarks. That's interesting. And those actions will remain visible to others within the app. That is awesome. That's awesome. So the world becomes a blank canvas, and then all of the people that you follow, or certain artists, imagine that. Let's say you go to London And, Banksy's got a Snapchat account, and you can log into that account and then walk around London and see all these installations that Banksy has created that don't actually tag the property. And he can put them anywhere. He can put them on a cloud. Brilliant. Absolutely love this idea. So Facebook experimented with something similar back in 2017 with its Slam virtual art installation project. Snapchat has also experimented with digital art displays, but this is the first time that we'll offer an interactive option along the same lines. Again, we need to get the device out of our hands and onto our face. We need to be wearing glasses where we can engage with augmented reality. This is a multi-trillion-dollar business because inflation will see things in the trillions in the upcoming years. And if we're at a basketball game and you want customized ads, then there you go. You're looking around. I would love to be able to go to a live game and see the stats of players using augmented reality. I'd love to be able to use augmented reality to diagnose health issues with like a pet. Take a picture of your pet, right? What's the problem? Your pet's overweight. Snapchat's also expanding its scan options with lenses, offering new ways to identify objects and trigger AR responses. Someone I know at Google showed me something where you can take a picture of an object and it will translate that into another language. So you take a picture of whatever, a cup, and it says taza if you're in Spain, or taza if you're in South America. Snapchat already has scan tools in partnership with Shazam for music and Amazon for products. But now it's looking to take that capacity even further, partnering with a range of providers to facilitate expanded scan options, including Plant Snap to identify known plants and trees. I was just talking about this. I want Plant Snap. Dog Scanner. Oh my gosh, we just talked about both these things. To recognize dog breeds, not whether or not your dog is chunky. Nutrition Scanner to get a rating on the quality of ingredients in many packaged foods. I love that. This is good stuff. This is very interesting stuff. Augmented reality. Big, 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 big. Big, big, big. All right. Text messaging is the most effective marketing channel most retail brands aren't using. More than 50% of consumers said they want to text with their favorite brand. I absolutely don't, but let's see why people might want to. Average email open rates for retail marketers are just over 18%, but more than 90% of text messages are opened by recipients. I loathe texts most of the time, especially when they're advertisements, typically within minutes. Even as messaging is gaining in popularity as a marketing channel, it's still woefully underutilized by the majority of retail marketers. Yikes. Okay, minority of brands currently using SMS. According to 2016 research conducted by Internet Retailer for Open Market, only 29% of retail brands were using text for marketing or customer service purposes, compared with 97% using email. I think the main reason for that is, like, if I get a text, I feel like it's relevant now. Am I wrong? If I get a text, I feel like somebody needs something from me and I have to go do something. I guess if you're younger, you're getting texts of people that are actually communicating with you and they don't need something from you, but it feels like work to me. And I am definitely of the demographic that spends money. What are the chances that you're going to send me a text at a time when I actually want to see it? Yeesh. If there's geofence-based texting, that is to say, if I'm pulling up to the Chipotle and they know that I'm 500 feet away and I get a text and it says, save 10%. Okay, cool. For it. Let's do it. So geographic-based text. But if you are electrician, why are you texting people? What are you texting them for? If you're Coca-Cola, why are you texting them? For what? Every time I see a promotional text come through, I just absolutely hate it. So maybe that's why. Look, if I get spam email, I just opt out. If I get spam text, I'm just annoyed. High-profile retailers that are actively using text include Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Old Navy, Nordstrom, Crate & Barrel, Kmart, Bed Bath & Beyond, Eddie Bauer, among others. Numerous direct-to-consumer brands are using it as well. Promotions. Yeah, promotions. It's pretty much got to be promotions. Also, there you go. We got SRE Sass hopping in the chat. She says, all I get are political texts, especially for donations, which is super annoying. Also, we have a problem student in the class today. His name's Kyle, and sup indeed, Kyle. His username is Don't Spill My Monster. Kyle, he's addicted to Monster Energy drinks, unfortunately. So Kyle, if you could please stop crawling around the class and focus, that would be appreciated. According to a recent Yotpo survey of 800 adults from a wide range of different countries, more than half of respondents said they wanted a text relationship with their favorite brands. 51%. Really? I certainly don't. They also were eager to receive discount offers via text. 54%, which is an old school way to do online to offline attribution. Call me old school, but man, do I not want you texting me. Please don't text me. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just old. Google to allow removal of counterfeit goods from search results. You can now submit a form to request Google to review and take down counterfeit goods from Google search. I can't imagine how this could go terribly wrong. Google is now allowing users to report counterfeit goods within the organic free Google search results for removal. Okay, this works similar to the DMCA process where you can request removal of stolen copyrighted content from Google search results. So counterfeit goods are products, let's see, that contain a trademark or logo that is identical to or substantially indistinguishable from the trademark of another. Interesting. So again, this is big business stuff. They mimic the brand features of the product in an attempt to pass themselves off as the genuine. Okay, so fakes. It's fakes. So you can report fakes now in Google. That's pretty self-explanatory. Google Web Spam Report, cracking down on renegade linking practices, auto-generated content, quote, more than 25 billion pages we discover each day are spammy. We covered this yesterday. George Nguyen writes, 25 billion, spammy pages a day are discovered by Google. I think your takeaway here is if you're going to be creating content, the content has to meet a certain standard. If you are buying content from someone, either an internet marketing company or a writer, use that plagiarism checker. Run it through plagiarism. Let's say you work with someone and it's been like 6 months to a year, and then you're like, oh yeah, duh, I'm supposed to check this plagiarism. You go back, you check it, and it's like 60% copied. This is the issue. Plagiarism in 2020 isn't necessarily it's plagiarized or it isn't. People will rewrite sentences. They will copy and paste sections from certain articles, and Google obviously can track that, understands it. And so what do we mean by a spammy page? Well, a plagiarized page is a spammy page. So the definition of spam, quote, we define spam as using techniques that attempt to mimic high-quality content signals without actually delivering on the promise of high-quality content. This would be to say copied content or other tactics that might prove harmful to searchers. How Google stops spam in the majority of cases, Google automatically identifies spammy behavior and ensures that those pages don't rank well in search results. So the highlights from the Web Spam report are that Google says its efforts ensure that more than 99% of visits from its results lead to spam-free experiences. I would say that is true. Paid links and link exchanges have been made less effective, with Google catching more than 90% of link spam. The point of link spam, obviously, is to drive your rankings higher. This bugs me a little bit because as SEOs, as people who want to have their site rank higher in search, Google, because they sell links on Google Ads, has no incentive to have you spend money with anyone else on the internet. So it's hypocrisy to me, because you have Google saying, okay, you can buy this space on this link in Google Ads, and I'll charge you $7 per click of this link. But if you spend $7 to have someone else put their link on their website, we're gonna ban you. We're gonna find you. We're gonna delist you from our search results. And that to me is it just smells bad. It's a monopoly on links, and I know it doesn't seem like links are that important, or perhaps in 2020 you feel that they are, but they are this huge currency. Links are unbelievably important, and they pass a ton of revenue around the internet. And Google has basically said, our links are so valuable that we can charge you, I mean, for personal injury attorneys per click, $80. Like, these links are just these money, they're the golden goose. They lay golden eggs constantly for Google. And so for them to turn around and say, oh, well, we don't want you to either exchange links, which is insane to me. You can't exchange links with another person, and you definitely can't buy links from them. Why? Just because you become our competitor. That's why. Kind of ridiculous, right? So as monopolies go, this will last for quite a while. No one's up in arms about this, obviously, because what are you supposed to do? There is no alternative to Google. You have to rank, you have to play by their rules, and they've built something incredible, obviously. And so I understand why they would be behaving in this way, but it does feel like it instantly creates an underground network of people who are interested in sharing links. And then when those people prosper, when they do it right, the rest of the SEOs go, seriously? So here's an example. You're a local plumber, and you are a part of some chamber of commerce, or you're part of these different groups, and you say, look, tell you what, I'm going to give you $50, for like a link on the homepage of your wherever. But basically untraceably, like I'm just going to pay you in a way, or I'll do you a favor. I'll come to your house and do plumbing, but just give me a link on your site. Google can't catch that. And so they do it, they build a relationship, they basically pay for the link, but because Google can't track that, then they get away with it. And then meanwhile, everyone else who's trying to play by the rules and not get caught suffers. This is to say that Michael Jordan at one point had an interesting interview where he talked about how he's like, I know exactly what I can get away with. He says, I know, you hear this from CPAs all the time, where they're like, I'm a moderate. They'll say moderate, I'm this sort of thing. But what they're doing is they're attempting to play in that gray area. And so Google has created this gray area by saying that they don't want paid links or link exchanges, which again is somewhat ridiculous. In 2018, it reduced user-generated spam accounts on forums, blogs, and other platforms. Those are garbage and incredibly annoying. By 80%. This type of abuse did not grow in 2019. Apparently, that's because it's not working. The impact of spammy sites, those that feature auto-generated or scraped content on search users, has been reduced by more than 60%. You used to be able to just steal content all the time. Just take, millions of articles from around the web, drop them on your site, pretend that they're yours, and get traffic. Throw Google AdSense on there and make some money. That's obviously unethical. And good that they're stopping it. Google received nearly 230,000 search spam reports in 2019 and was able to take action on 82% of them. There was an option that Google gave out not too long ago. Well, actually, it was a few years ago, where they allowed you to basically report on websites that you didn't want links from anymore. So if you had spammy links pointing back to your website, you'd say, this is the website that I don't want you to consider this link back from. And I felt like we were just working for Google, because we would put in all of these websites and say, okay, we don't want the links from these sites. We currently have them because we just adopt programs from all sorts of people, and we have to figure out what to do once we've received them, even if they have really bad backlinks. So we'd go through all this work. Nothing would really happen. And I felt like we were just sending Google data on which websites were spammy. So why we care? Left unchecked, spam hurts the entire search ecosystem. Yeah, that's obvious. 4 things we learned about automated bidding during the pandemic. Smart bidding adapts to the changes with reduced budget, which is better than pausing campaigns, but beware of high impression share with automated bids. First of all, when clients called us when COVID first started and they said, we're going to turn off the pay-per-click, our answer was, duh. Yes, of course. Absolutely. Sounds good. I feel like anything to the contrary is just trying to grab money from clients during a difficult time, and that feels rather unethical to me. Obviously, there are certain industries that stayed alive, but the vast majority of them, the best idea was to simply turn it off. Bid management is understandably a favorite topic for pay-per-click marketers, because the right bids make the difference between campaigns that lose money and the ones that make money. Brilliant stuff here. In the old days, search marketers spent a lot of time setting the right cost per click bids. That's true. But nowadays, in a world where more of the day-to-day of pay-per-click management can be automated, shocker, they're doing it. That task has shifted to picking the right automation and feeding it the right settings, like targets for cost per acquisition. So I'll translate that into English. You set up automated bidding so that, yeah, maybe you're spending $7 instead of $4 on a click, but your acquisition rate, that is to say the number of phone calls that you're receiving, goes up by 17%. And because your main focus is receiving phone calls, then ta-da, measuring the quality of those phone calls is tricky. So let's say maybe you set it so that the phone calls have to be above 30 seconds to count. This sort of thing. It's complicated. Since the right bids are so critical to success, you'd think it'd be one of the best understood parts of pay-per-click management, but in reality, how automations like smart bidding from Google work is still a bit of a mystery to many. I believe that the Google algorithm itself is a mystery to the people who are in it. I think that we have gotten to a level of complexity that is, it's manageable in that we can go in and tweak it, but we're talking about like claiming things like, well, we're going to make this change to the code and claim that it will have the following effect. If any of you are chess people, the world champion, one of the world champions is Magnus Carlsen, and he talks about that in chess all the time. He'll make a move, and he doesn't say this is the good move and the right move. He says, I'm claiming that, pawn to c3 is going to take up space in the center, and further down the line, it's going to allow me to move the knight into a better position. So that's what this feels like in 2020 with all this automation. We're claiming that it's going to move us into something that will become better. So that's no surprise because the underlying mechanisms for automation are built on machine learning, a technology that can't easily explain the predictions it makes exactly. So there are a lot of questions about bid management and automated bidding in particular. Advertisers lack confidence in how well these automated systems will work during times of unusual volatility and whether pausing campaigns will hurt future automated bidding performance. Great question. So will volatility break automated bidding algorithms? There was a concern that automated bidding might fail at the start of the pandemic. After all, the automations work to detect patterns and use those to set bids. And with the whole world changing their lives virtually overnight, those patterns were disrupted. How would machine learning respond? Translated, you're spending $2,000 a month on pay-per-click. Are your conversions going to absolutely tank because the machine can't quite figure out that there's something called COVID and it's going to drastically change? And can it adapt, and how quickly can it adapt? So a quick primer on how automated bidding generally works. Smart bidding sets bids based on factors related to a search that influence the likelihood of the search leading to a click, a conversion, and a transaction of a certain value. The higher the predicted chance of a positive outcome, the more the system will bid for the click. So if it thinks that you're going to make $2,000, it might spend 200 instead of 100. Here's an example. I think you understand it. So smart bidding quickly adapts to changes. So Peter Oliveira from Google shared during our pay-per-click town hall that, quote, smart bidding uses both aggregated and recent trends, but favors what's been happening recently, end quote. So it quickly adapts its bidding strategy to account for the new normal. It knows it can always go back to its previous strategy when things return to the old way, but it does not wait long to adjust bids because it considers new patterns to be more important than old patterns. That's interesting. Coming from Google, obviously. All right. So use alerts to find when automated bids may be too low. While automated bidding deals appropriately with new changes in conversion patterns, marketers should still set up alerts. Okay. So reduce budgets instead of pausing campaigns. That's interesting. Take advantage of all bid automations. High impression share can be bad for automated bids. So this is a deep dive, and we simply do not have time today to get into this. Perhaps we will tackle this next week. So Twitter removing 32,000 accounts linked to state-backed manipulation changes. As I've said before, we're going to see artificial intelligence coming in, telling us what is real and what is fake. Who owns that particular technology is going to make a lot of money, and they are going to basically determine many of the ways that we think. So Twitter is starting to play police. And they, you know what, that's their job. It's thought police. They have to come in and say, no, that people are trying to lie. These are obvious lies. This line's going to get blurred real quick. and the AI is going to come in and say, this is probably 72% true. And we're going to start seeing this whole metadata layer underneath the social media posts of fact checking. And it's definitely not going to be done manually. It's going to be done through machine learning, which is probably for the best. Twitter's working on a new list discovery option as it continues to focus on topics. So, if you want to get into Twitter, you're not huge in Twitter, or you're on Twitter right now and you want to get into a certain topic, maybe you're into whatever, martial arts, cookies, unicorns, then you can hop on a Twitter list. Snapchat. Do not underestimate the Snapchat machine. A lot of young kids nowadays do not have Facebook, and they're living in an augmented reality world. Facebook, is there any augmented reality on Facebook? I can't tell. Facebook to me is almost like the newspaper at this point. It's just got that newspaper vibe to it. If you're walking around living in this kind of augmented reality world at Snapchat all the time, and then all of a sudden, someone's like, yeah, but have you seen this post on Facebook? It feels like, 10 years behind the curve. So just as you can see here, augmented reality, painting buildings, you can really do whatever your imagination can imagine. Text messages, I hate them. I don't know if you like them. Lanesia Couchman says sourdough. So that makes a lot of sense. If you're a sourdough company and you are sending text messages to people, I don't really know how that helps you sell more sourdough. I don't know how that is going to be helpful. I guess if you're Macy's and you can say, hey, we got a sale, come on down. Sure, there might be an argument for that. But I don't know. Texts to me are actually still a relevant, somewhat sacred form of communication. If you text me, I assume you need something from me. When it turns out it's Macy's trying to get me to swing by for their start of school sale, I could not possibly care less. Google to allow removal of counterfeit goods from search results. Okay, great. If you feel like someone's stealing your stuff, you can pop on and get rid of it. Web spam. Google deals with ridiculous amounts of web spam. Don't be contributing to that. If you're going to create something, do this. Do a stream. Do a YouTube video. If you're going to write a blog, write a good blog. Get above 400 words. Get some pictures in there. Take some pictures. Do it the right way. Doing it the wrong way is just going to bite you in the end. And then automated bidding. Apparently, according to Google, pay-per-click automated bids can turn on a dime, but don't get fooled into just like biting when there's no point, which is to say, don't go fish in a pond with no fish in it. Yes, but our automated machine learning bid structure. I don't care about your automated machine learning bid structure when there are no clients out there for me. Do you understand? So use your head. They're obviously going to continue to try to sell you on this sort of stuff. I think the worst is over. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think that the initial shock of Corona has worn off to a large degree. And many of the business owners that I'm talking to are they're spending money and people are coming back and things are returning to a somewhat normal state. We'll see about this whole second wave stuff moving forward. But point being, just because Google says that their automated bidding turns on a dime doesn't affect reality in the sense that, if the number of customers you have drops 80%, just turn it off. They're saying reduce the budget, fine. So maybe reduce the budget to $10 when it was $1,000 before. Really use your head on this sort of stuff and be aware that these people are just trying to make money from you. Oh my gosh. It's 11:04. We went 4 minutes of bonus content. I'm going to the beach. Going to the beach. Do you understand me? Going to the beach. Smash that like button if you're into the beach. So I will be off most likely Monday. So if you're looking for me on Monday, I might be this much more tan. My hair and makeup department is upset, obviously, because they're going to have to get new shades for the skin because it's going to get a little bit more tan. So there you have it. That's marketing for a foreign language, ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday. Happy Friday. # Friday. You guys are the best. Kyle, you can have your Monster energy drink now. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.